Welcome back to 15th Street Automotive. Today we're working on a 2004 GMC Sierra 1500 with the 5.3. Customer states he's got a misfire, check engine light, and there's a tapping noise from under the hood. This is a Jasper rebuilt engine, 5 years old, but it's only got like 15,000 miles on the rebuild. So he was hoping he was going to be under warranty. We didn't do the engine, another shop did. They're out of business now. So it's our baby to look at now. He was hoping he was going to have it warranted, but he's way over time wise. So we're going to check it out, figure out what's wrong with it, and go from there. Come on along. Okay, we got a mass airflow sensor performance. That could be just because it runs bad. And then we got a misfire P0300. So no super good information on which cylinder it is. Let's go to live data, see if we can't find a misfire counter here. Maybe we can isolate which cylinder it is that's failing on us. Okay, so there's our 8 cylinders. There's the counters. I'm going to start this thing up and we'll see what starts to count. Number 1 and number 3 are dead misfires. So number 1 and number 3. All right. All right, so number 1 and number 3 are right next to each other on the front driver's side. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so our misfires are 1 and 3, this cylinder and this cylinder. I'm going to pull this plug off of here, or this wire off of here. This is number 1. And I'm going to put in a spark tester here and see if we have spark out of that coil. I'm sure we do. The noise that this thing is creating, that ticking noise, kind of points me towards a mechanical problem. So we're going to, I just want to make sure it's sparked before I go any further. Our spark tester is working good. So a quick way of figuring out if maybe you have a obvious mechanical problem is to do a clear flood and then crank it over, and you'll hear the you will hear the cadence as it turns over. It should be nice and even. If it's not, that's going to tell you that you have a mechanical problem. So what I'm going to do is I pulled the fuel pump relay out of the fuse box. I'm going to start up. It'll kill the engine. I just want to show you the relative compression, the audio relative compression test that we're going to do. This thing won't clear flood, so it'll start if we crank it with a accelerator pedal depressed. But pull the fuel pump fuse relay. Pulling the fuel pump relay will show us if this thing's got a mechanical problem, just with the cadence of the starter. You could probably hear that sound as it turned over. The that's the sound of a mechanical issue. So I'm going to pull the spark plugs on one, and we're going to do it in cylinder to see if we can't figure out if there's something obvious that's not happening there. Our misfires were on 1 and 3, so we likely have whatever's wrong in 1 is likely either affecting 3 or is the same as 3. So let's pull a spark plug and we'll go in cylinder. So as you can see, that cylinder is not firing. That spark plug is dripping with fuel. So that's not a good start here. Alright, so we have our waveform on there. I'm going to blow this thing up a bit. So we want one cycle here. So we're looking at about 140 psi on that cylinder, so we're not losing compression. But our problem is right in here. Let's pull this up a little bit bigger. So we have very little vacuum there. So that thing should pull down much lower than it is. Now, let's get our cursors on here. Alright, so yeah, we've got almost no vacuum here. So our vacuum level is, let's pull this down here. We got -2 pounds of vacuum, which is 4 inches of vacuum. So almost no vacuum. Yeah, see, we don't have any vacuum here. This this line right here, if we pull this, let's zoom in here. We can look at this vacuum. This is the intake valve. So right here, we're looking at like 2.5 inches or 2.5 pounds of negative pressure. 2.5 pounds of negative pressure, which is 4 inches of vacuum. You know, we should have close to 20 inches of vacuum here. So almost no vacuum. That's our problem. I'd like to take a look at 3 to see if maybe 3 is a problem as well. Number 3 is soaked in fuel as well. I'm going to put this in cylinder number 1 just to plug that hole. Put this spark killer on 3 so we don't damage our transducers. Okay, that's in number 3 now. Now, what we'll do is we'll start this recording again. And start her up. Pause that. Well, we didn't get much of anything there. That's weird. Let me pull that up here. Oh, we didn't get nothing there. Let's start that again. Make sure that we're all hooked up right. Transducers on. Well, we got a problem with number 3, that's for sure. Look at this. Look at this vacuum here. It's pulling. Wow. That's that's negative 100 psi. That is pulling some vacuum. How is that possible? That's a really bad pattern there for the compression. Yeah, I don't even know what that thing's showing. That's not showing anything. That's not showing us anything right there. So, number 1 in-cylinder test showed it was it had very low vacuum. Cylinder 3 in-cylinder test was a mess. that information is not useful whatsoever. So I'm going to pull the valve cover off. I don't know what I'm looking for necessarily. It's Misfire on 1 and 3. Both of them show issues on the in cylinder, but from what I know of it, it's neither conclusive. So we're going to pull the valve cover off. This one's not too bad to get off, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I got the valve cover off, and those all look okay. But if you look at this one, it's sloppy, which means that's the intake one, intake cylinder, or intake valve, and that lifter is shot. Problem is I don't know if the cam is damaged either, and I don't know why number 1 is giving us issues. Crank it over. It won't start, or it shouldn't start. Ready? Yep. Crank it. Okay. All right, so I think I found our problem here. So let me get you inside here. If you look here, you can see that valve spring is broken. And you can take that valve and move it up and down like that. And that would explain why number 3 has no compression and the cylinder is all wacky, or the waveform is all wacky. Number 1, anytime you have this kind of strange airflow into the intake off of a adjacent cylinder, it can affect the another cylinder. So I suspect that's what's happening with number 1. But also I noticed when I pulled it apart, grab this push rod, you can see this push rod, I don't know if you can see this thing, is bent. That's the push rod. So we're going to get a push rod and a spring, put it on here on this cylinder number 3, and see if we get our compression back, and put a couple spark plugs in there and see what we get back. But that's the next step. I'll write this thing up for a spring and a push rod, a couple spark plugs, and then we'll bring you guys back and show you what we found. I've got the spring replaced on that one valve. I did not show it because I got swamped this morning and I had to get stuff done. So there it is. That's the new valve spring in there. Pretty easy to do. It doesn't take that long to do it. But we're gonna put this thing back together. I'll put the valve cover back on and the coil packs back on. I've already replaced the spark plugs that were fuel fouled. So we'll start this thing up and make sure that we have all our cylinders back. If we do, and I have time, I'll get a compression waveform capture and show you the fix. But like I say, we got busy today, and I gotta get stuff done. So there's the fix. There's the repaired valve spring. We'll put it back together and start her up. All right, that runs pretty smooth. No more noise and no more misfires. So I'll pull that plug out of number 3 so I can show you what I want to see what number 1 looks like too, but I want to show you what a good one looks like. Alright, so I'm hooked back up to cylinder number 1. Here, let me back out here. I'll show you what I've got going here. So I'm back into cylinder number 1 with my transducer. That's the cylinder that was giving us super low vacuum, but had a pattern, had a regular compression pattern on it. If you remember, cylinder 3 had nonsense basically because that valve spring was broken. So I took a reading from number 1, and this is it. So this was running. So running compression was 75, which is good. We're looking typically 60 to 80 is usually pretty good. Our timing is just about perfect. We're opening the exhaust stroke right there at what is that, 60 roughly. We're closing the intake at roughly 60, maybe 70. So real good. But what we had on the other one was, remember, if the vacuum pockets here, the exhaust vacuum pocket and then the intake vacuum pocket, were at about 2 psi, which is 4 inches of vacuum. Here you can see clearly, here's 10, so we're at 10 psi, which is 20 inches of vacuum. So fixing that spring on number 3 brought back number 1, and it's firing perfect. So that fixed both cylinders. I guess I'd have to sit and think about why number 1 intake vacuum was so low because of that, but it has to do with the way that number 3 was affecting the intake manifold. I'm sure of it. But that's a fix. It runs good. I'm going to clear the codes and go drive it and make sure everything stays good, and then we'll ship it.